Hey YouTube, this is Kevin Boland of Boland Small Engine, and I'm just continuing off my prior video. This is the ZTS 7500, and I wanted to let you guys know that I did just finish cleaning the starter. It wasn't in terrible shape. It had definitely been hot, there's no question about that. And it had gotten so hot actually that it managed to lock itself up. So luckily enough, no major damage, and I was able to clean it and salvage it, and the motor actually turns over. However, as I told you, I was going to adjust the valves because, in honesty, I knew there was an issue there. Because obviously, people don't go out and rebuild a starter, okay, typically, unless they have a valve issue. And of course, lo and behold, here is the issue. I'm going to zoom in here and you guys are going to be able to see this. If you look at the top valve, okay, which would be your intake valve, you will see that the valve guide only protrudes just a little bit past the head here, okay? And if you look at the bottom, look at the exhaust valve. Do you see the valve guide here, guys? Hopefully you do in the camera. I apologize for the light. It's right in my eyes, so probably wasn't the best place to park the mower. But as you can see, that valve guide is almost halfway up the valve stem here. And of course, naturally, when the rocker arm is getting pushed down, it's limited by how far it can go down. And that's going to definitely cause an issue with the running of this engine. There's no fix for this, guys. I could go back and try to drive the valve guide down, but I'm not doing the guy any favors. It's just going to move again. I know it. I can tell you that through experience. I've heard people say, well, paint them. Guys, honestly, it's just a quick fix. It's a patch job at best. You're better off to get a new head. That being said, this model is like an 07, okay? And or at least in the code date it is. Okay, I have no idea if anyone's ever changed the valve covers or not. But to make a long story short, it says it's an 07 model, and that's pretty significant amount of age for a lawnmower, considering that it's 2018. Okay, so I personally wouldn't put any money in this engine. There are others out there that would argue, you know, maybe the engine doesn't have very many errors. I didn't see a air meter on it, so I have no way to actually indicate, you know, how many airs this engine actually has. But I can tell you, with what I'm obviously seeing here, that there is a valve guide issue, and I'll try my best to actually show you a comparison on the other side to this side, so you guys will realize that, you know, this valve guide is actually moved. It will be difficult because, as you can clearly see, and I'm going to zoom out, there is a shitload of parts that is in the way. But hopefully I can get the camera in good enough to where you guys can see it, and you'll realize that if you're having an issue like this, you may potentially want to look at those valve guides. I've made prior videos explaining how these valve guides actually move. Why? It's honestly because of heat. Okay, typically oil viscosity can do it. There's many different reasons, but mostly it's because of neglect, if you want honesty. But anyway, hopefully I'll be able to show you guys this. I'm going to certainly try. I've got a flashlight here to help aid and assist me, and as you guys can see, this is, try to move this line here. This is, of course, the intake. As you can see, the top of the valve guide is almost flush with the cylinder head, and that's typically what you're supposed to see. Now, the one that I'm actually wanting to show you guys is on further down, and hopefully I'll be able to show it off. I'm trying, I can tell you guys that, okay? So hopefully you'll be able to see that this is the exhaust valve right there. And as you can see, if you look, this is the stem. I'm going to try to pull the light back, and you can see that it too is almost flush with the cylinder head, and that's typically the way they're supposed to be. So this cylinder head, if you will, is in great shape. There's no issues on this side, but there is on this side. I'm going to zoom out here, guys. So I'm going to have to let the customer know that you know, this head is definitely going to need to be replaced. And As I say, I'm not in the habit of doing patch jobs, so if he's serious about the work and he wants it done, I'll do it. I can tell you that this is not an easy task, okay? You have to pull a pretty good deal of parts off in order to get this particular engine, to a point to where you can actually change the heads out. And it is expensive. So I personally, on an 07 model, wouldn't even consider it. But that's completely up to the customer. It has nothing to do with me. I do know it's going to be quite a deal of work. So, to be honest, I'm not even looking forward to it if he allows me to go forward. But I wanted to show you guys this so you'll know that I did get the starter going. It works great, but there's still potentially an issue here that needs to be addressed. I'm going to put the valve covers back on. I'm going to adjust the valves just for the hell of it. Maybe I can drive the valve guide down enough for it to run, but I'm going to let him know the truth, that it's a patch job at best. Till the next video.